In this video, we're going to go through the owner of Fire Mecca lists of reasons to need restraining orders. This one is not following Viver's secret rules. This may particularly apply to anyone considering working for them or ordering anything from them. I'm a former Fire Mecca affiliate, and the owner of Fire Mecca has been spreading a bunch of lies about me. Recently posted a 20-minute video spreading a lot more lies about our interactions. Today I'm going to be debunking a few of those. You may notice that they are going to tell a bunch of stories and not share any evidence whatsoever backing up anything that they say. I just want to give a little warning that you do not have to watch this video. This is your chance to click off or go to another video, literally do anything else. Also, if you think this video is a message directly to you, you are probably mistaken. Part of the intent of this video is to show you the treatment that I've received and continue to receive from the owner of this company. Should you choose to communicate with them, work for them, or purchase from them, this information may or may not be helpful to you to help you make decisions of whether to work for this person. So let's go to the video.
On April 5th, 2024, Kastner had ordered a rope dart from my home business, Fire Mecca. I've notified him via the business POS system that he could pick up his order.
This is where the POS system says your rope dart is ready for pickup. They ask me if the system sent them a notification, ask me when I would like to pick it up. That's what the POS system says. There's no actual instructions on picking it up. It just says it's ready and asks me when. I respond to the POS system after getting this, saying I got this message. I'm checking the pickup message now. I didn't realize it was only Monday through Thursday, so I'll have to plan ahead next week because this was Friday, so I'm assuming I'll just have to pick it up the next week. I also mentioned saying I wasn't sure if I just show up and knock or if I have to call ahead, but that's all. TTYL.
On April 5th, 2024, Kastner had ordered a rope dart from my home business, Fire Mecca. I've notified him via the business POS system that he could pick up his order. Kastner replied that he couldn't make it in during regular business hours. I suggested that he could make another arrangement since he had previously been inside my home.
That's where they say, you can visit anytime because you've already been to my house. LOL. They also say the same thing, this text message on the same day, April 5th, where they say, I have time tomorrow and Sunday because you are different. We're friends and you already hang out at my house.
During early on when
There's a lie coming up here that they're about to tell.
I still was trying to figure out who this person was. I was hosting these monthly meetups on Monday nights, and several friends would come over. They would bring some food. It would be, mostly just talking. He attended one of these early on before he started creeping me out.
So they just said that I attended one of these early on before quote unquote started creeping them out. However, I've shown dozens and dozens of messages. There's Instagram and there's regular text messages. There's no indication at any point whatsoever in any of the messages that Vivers is quote unquote creeped out. But they just said in this video, yeah, he came to my house at one of these dinners early on. That was before he started creeping me out. Never says at what point there was any issue. They're trying to say that I came to this friends dinner thing that they had at their apartment before they really knew me very well. Then I started creeping them out. So then I didn't come to their house. But exactly when this is happening, they're saying, you can visit any time because you've already been in my house. LOL. You're different because we're friends and already hang out at my house. Smiley face. The idea that I had only been to their apartment one time for this dinner thing is false. I had been to their apartment multiple times. They had been to my apartment before. Now they're going back and trying to make it sound like I went to this dinner party that they held, and that was it. And then after that, it was pretty much creeped out. Also, note that this language you can visit anytime because you've already been to my house. You're different because we're friends and you already hang out at my house with a smiley face. These messages happened allegedly just days after Vivers goes on their video saying this weekend that I visited them in Flagstaff was filled with red flags, creepy behavior, filled with conversations that made them so freaked out that they need to get a restraining order. Understand, Vivers is saying all this terrible red flag behavior happened a week before this conversation where they're saying, yeah, go ahead and come over anytime, smiley faces. That's how you know that all that red flag stuff is totally made up.
I actually never invited him back into the house again.
False. They just said they only invited me over for this dinner party thing and that they never invited me back again. Unfortunately for Vivers, there are other invites. Their video is so jam packed with lies.
He was presenting like he wanted to be part of Fire Mecca as an affiliate. I gave it a shot. We had a couple video meetups. Again, things were not looking the way that they should.
The most vague statement ever. I'll have to show all these text messages, all these emails, a lot of Facebook messages where they're saying, I'm such a great affiliate. I have Vivers commenting on my Facebook Reels and Instagram Reels, how great it is. They want me to encourage other people to get involved. No messages whatsoever that, quote, things aren't looking the way that they should. No messages, emails, anything whatsoever that they didn't want me to be an affiliate. No messages, emails, conversations whatsoever that they wanted me to do less affiliate work. Anything like that whatsoever.
He was presenting like he wanted to be part of Fire Mecca as an affiliate. Things were not looking the way that they should. Things were not looking the way that they should. Things were not looking the way that they should.
As I said before, you're going to hear a lot of story and zero evidence, zero receipts of anything that they say.
So I disengaged and said, I'm really busy and I don't actually have any more time to work on affiliate stuff.
Zero receipts of anything that they say. Completely not true. A massive amount of our communication happened over text messages, a lot of Facebook Messenger. They're saying right here,
things were not looking the way that they should. So I disengaged and said, I'm really busy and I don't actually have any more time to work on affiliate stuff with you.
So they're saying, quote, I disengaged. They say in other places that I cut him off. The exact opposite is true. I'm the one that disengaged with Corinne, and I'm the one that cut Corinne off. Remember, Corinne on their Fire Mecca Twitch stream says, I woke up in the middle of the night and realized he unfriended me. I have multiple messages from the owner of Fire Mecca, most of them in Instagram, where we used to chat back and forth. And when I was done engaging, I have multiple examples of messages I no longer respond to because I disengage. I'm the one that told the owner of Fire Mecca to please stop contacting me. I'm pretty sure all of the messaging programs and emails, they're always the one left with the last message in the system. But they're going to say that they disengaged and they cut me off, absolutely lying through their teeth.
So when he ordered this rope dart from my house, like, people were allowed to pick up props. I would make the arrangements and I would meet them at the very, very front gate. It requires a key to get in.
So here's the thing that they're leaving out from their video that they're wanting you to understand. Listen to what they said. I would meet them at the front gate. It requires a key to get in. Like, it's this gated community, okay? Vivers never once communicated to me to meet them at the front gate. And when I pulled up and parked, the gate was wide open. Has nothing to do with me. And these are all the communications. It just says your rope dart is ready. When would you like to pick it up? I email back. I wasn't sure. I literally say I wasn't sure if I just show up and knock or if I even have to call ahead. Vivers just says, you can visit any time because you've already been to my house. Doesn't say, meet me at the gate. Doesn't say, meet me at the third space, the library, whatever kind of thing people do for Craigslist, right? Doesn't even say to meet me at the gate in the text messages. If there was any message from the owner of Fire Mecca saying to me, hey, wait at the gate for me, don't just, I know you've been in my apartment before, but maybe just don't walk up and just wait for me at the gate. Now could be a really good time for them to show anything like that. Will they? No, because it doesn't exist, because this is all they said. But now they're going to go online and make a defamatory message like this, making it sound like I showed up without warning. Case in point, here's a message from a friend of mine who reached out to Corinne days after they started the defamation campaign on me and asked for any evidence of anything. Right here, Corinne says, brought his creepy mentor to my house without warning. They're referring to the day that I went to pick up my order. I was shopping with a friend of mine who's also my mentor. Literally says to someone that this was without warning. Look at the language of the exact same event that they posted in the Are We Dating the Same Guy group. Different view of the same incident, leaving out completely that I made an order from her business and that she was acting like we were really great friends. She writes, he shows up with an older guy at my house where I run my small business. Also writes, I could drop by as a friend. Didn't mention that we coordinated to pick up the online order that I made. Then there's this part where she writes, he never mentioned the strange man he was bringing into my home. We'll talk about this more another time. When I got there, I knocked on the door. You can look outside the door. You can open the curtains. You can have like a peephole in your door. Vivers talked about how they had security cameras. As far as I knew, they have security cameras. They can like look outside who's out there. It doesn't matter. You can look outside, out the window or whatever when someone knocks on your door. But they never mention the key fact that their employee, where they say, here, my other friend was over. So this was another guy that like worked on fire props there that I had met before. I knew who this was. Their employee opened the door. Their employee opened the door, recognized me. I'm not going to say his name. I shook his hand. I said, hey guys, what's up? You know, it was totally friendly interaction. Hey, meet my friend. He's here from Michigan visiting for this week. Oh, hey, like Corinne's acting like this was this unexpected, without warning event that I essentially broke into the gated community with how they write about it here, how they write about it here, brought his creepy mentor to my house without warning. She completely knew this pickup was scheduled. And all she said was, you can come over anytime because you've already been to my house. But either way, her employee or friend is the one that opened the door and let us in. And in these types of messages, like she says, he never mentioned the strange man he was bringing into my home. Corinne knew I had a mentor. Corinne knew that he was visiting that week. It's very possible with all the cannabis that she had forgot that. But either way, if she has secret rules, like for employees or something like that, when doing pickups, that only the person who picked up can come into the house, or maybe the employee's not supposed to open the door at all. Maybe they're supposed to, talk through the door and say, okay, can you back up a few steps? I'm going to hand the package out to you. None of that happened whatsoever, and that's not my fault that the owner of Fire Mecca's employee opened the door and welcomed us in. Another point Vivers isn't going to mention in their video, trying to sound like they were victimized by this store pickup where they didn't communicate basically any of the rules that they had in their head, only communicated with smiley faces and LOL that I already hang out at their house, so come over anytime. What they want you to think is that I basically barged in, broke their rules or something, which they never communicated. What's more, is that all happened on, it was like April 5th or April 6th or something. A few days later, Vivers did email me about that. I'll show the email in another video. A few days later, Vivers did email me about that. And they basically ended up saying that was uncomfortable for me. Clearly, they usually told people to meet them at the gate, and she did not do that in my case. But she emailed me basically saying that that was uncomfortable for her. I emailed her back explaining, if you usually meet people at other places besides the actual door of the dwelling, then you should tell people that. Vivers writes in response to that, one good logistical point you made. I usually do local pickup at the leasing office gate or a coffee shop. That's literally what they wrote to me, acknowledging that they didn't follow whatever they usually do that makes them feel comfortable. They didn't do that with me, and they're blaming me for that, saying they need a restraining order because they didn't communicate what I was supposed to do. Then they acknowledge that usually they do communicate this. Me showing up to pick up my order is one of the things for a restraining order on me. This is why I say, as we've gone through the list of reasons Vivers needs a restraining order, we add not following Vivers' secret rules. Secret rules that they don't tell you about. And then if you break them, they can go to a judge and say, Judge, I had these rules. They won't mention to the judge that they never communicated these rules, but they can say, Judge, you don't understand. I had these rules and this person broke them. They don't mention that these were secret rules that they never communicated to the person. If you decide to order anything or maybe work for this company, I don't know how you're going to find out what all the secret rules are. In this case, the owner of Fire Mecca didn't clearly communicate what they wanted me to do, didn't communicate to their other employee or friend not to let people in the door, and then they're blaming me for that.